Hey guys, Akhtar Khan here. We are shooting live from Monaco. There is going to be a lot of background noises, a lot of people and vehicles moving around, but I wanted to shoot this video today because I wanted to talk to you about some things that are fresh on my mind regarding how to raise money using private equity. So I've actually been in Monaco for a few days. I've been here speaking to some funds, and also we're in the process of setting up our own fund. So if you haven't seen my previous video on the truth around doing no money down deals, you should probably go and watch that because it will give you a little bit of an insight into dispelling some of the myths and the truths around what you need to finance and do these deals. Now, as I've previously mentioned, guys, you know, some deals you can do no money down 100%, but you need to get your positioning right, and also you need to make sure that it's the right deal and the seller can accept those types of transactions. Okay. The other thing is this, not every seller is going to be able to do that. So for you to be able to have access to a pool of funds, whether it's your own funds, whether it's through investors, it can be investors that are friends and family, whether it's like people who are ultra high net worth, or even other private equity funds. There are funds that will lend to other funds. So let's dive into this. This is going to be a quick video, guys, because I've tried to shoot this a couple of times. There's a lot of noise here, vehicles passing. I want to give you guys a high level overview of what private equity is, how to start getting into it, how to start get yourself in front of the right kind of people, funds, family offices, and so forth, so you can establish lines, if you like, of funding and finance for your deals, whether that's property deals or whether that's M&A deals. So let's ask the first question: what is private equity? Private equity is when you get a pool of funds together, either from an individual investor, or it could be a family, or it could be a group of people where they pool their funds together and they put it into some kind of vehicle. Typically, these vehicles tend to be overseas. Sometimes they're US based, sometimes they're based in the BVI, sometimes they can be in Monaco, Luxembourg, and places like that. There is some regulations and rules around how things are done, and I'm not going to go into the detail around that in this video because that's probably a topic for another time. I'll probably put a few videos together on this subject, but I want to give you a high-level overview of what you need to be doing and why we decided to go to the point of actually setting our own fund up. So that gives you a high-level overview of what a fund is and how they work. Typically, there'll be a fund manager, and some of these funds are operated by family offices. Sometimes they're operated by multiple family offices. The distinction around these things is that, you know, a family office is basically an investment house. Sometimes brokers will have access to funds, okay? There's going to be lots of different ways, and I will cover this in a bit more detail in another video. But in essence, what you want to be thinking about and what we're doing is setting up our own private equity fund, but also getting yourself around other ultra high net worth people, other family offices, other people that are dealing with funds, okay? So this has been a big level up for us. This has helped us and really forced us to play a bigger game in what we're doing in terms of business and property acquisitions. So where do you go and find these private equity funds? Well, you can go online and you can go and search for things like family offices, investment funds. You'll find them in most towns. You'll find them all over the world. You can actually go and get lists and databases of family offices and investment fund companies, and it's just a case of approaching them. The biggest thing that we found is networking. It's like, you know, your network is your net worth, as they say. So when you start going out networking and talking to people, who do you know that's got a fund? Who do you know that's got access to fund? Who do you know that deals with investors or investments? Very soon, you know, all roads will end up leading to people who've got funds or private equity funds or investment funds that are looking to invest into projects, M&A stuff, building projects, and so forth, okay? So look, you need to go out and start finding where these people are. It doesn't take that much, and it's not taken us much to get into partnership, if you like, with a couple of funds. One of the funds here is in Monaco, and we've also made connections and a partnership with a fund over in Dubai. So what you want to be doing is, when you do go and approach, you need to be making sure that you've got some kind of pitch deck and some kind of proposal together about what your offer is, who you are. Normally when you have something that you want to offer out, you'll have what's called a one-pager. So what is a one-pager? A one-pager is like a highlight synopsis of your offer, of your deal, of what you're trying to raise money for, okay? So if you're trying to do an M&A transaction, and you like to do a deal, let's say you've gone out, you've negotiated a deal, the owner wants £1 million, you haven't got £1 million cash available, but you then put it down in the deal. Here's the deal, here's that deal specifics, this is what you want to raise, this is the period of time you want to have the money for, here's your intended exit strategy, and then you'll pitch that out and you'll give that to investors, into funds and so forth. And if they like that, then they'll get on a call with you, either in person or over a Zoom call. And then at that point, they'll go into more detail around your particular deal. Okay. So one of the things that you want to be doing, I want to talk to you about the 3 or 4 stages, and I think this is probably the most important part of this video, is this, okay? One of the mistakes that people make is when they try to either close a deal, if they try to raise finance, or get an investor on board, a lot of people try to close the deal first meeting, okay? That's like going on a date and asking for marriage on the first date. It doesn't work very well, guys. It comes across as needy, and it's a balance. You want the money, you want the investment, you want someone to back your deal, but also you don't want to come across as needy and desperate. So one of the things you want to do, and this is what we do, is we have like a 4-step method where we'll go out and meet someone for the first time. That's a meet and greet. And at this point, if I meet with an investor, if I meet with a fund, I say, look, we've got nothing to offer you right now, but we can tell you what we have, tell you what we do, and if it's of interest to you down the line, we may be able to offer you something, or may be able to add you to our database, or give you, preferential treatment in terms of the deals and the opportunities that we've got. Why is that really important? Well, the reason that's really important is this, okay? When you go out and you're looking to raise money, everyone is looking to raise money. So if you do what everyone else does, you're going to get the response that everyone else gets. It comes across as needy. You almost want to be in the position where you're saying, look, I don't really need it. You're almost pushing people away a little bit, but I'd like to get to know you. The second meeting we have, which I would normally time like a week, 10 days later, a couple of weeks maximum, is to get on a call again and say, look, it was great meeting you guys. Let's talk about some of the potential deals we got, and I want to show you an example of one of our deals. I want to show you an example just to see if it's something you got a flavor for. So in essence, what you're doing, you're teasing them. Look, I can't offer you a deal, but here's an example of a deal that we did. Okay, that then gets them a little bit more excited about what you've got. Again, you're not going there asking for a check or asking them to back the deal. You're just building the relationship. You're showing them what you do, and you're gauging their interest. The other thing that's really important to do when it comes to raising funds, whether you're raising funds from friends and family, whether you're raising funds from ultra high net worth investors or private equity funds, okay, you need to find out what their criteria is, okay? What have they got what have they got an appetite? What are they comfortable for? Are they happy to get into M&A deals? Are they happy to get into a particular sector? Are they happy to get into property? How long are they looking to invest for? Is it 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? Are they looking for capital appreciation over a longer period of time? Are they looking for monthly income? These kind of questions are going to get you to get an understanding of what your investors or what your funds are going to look for, and that's going to give you a bit more of an understanding of how you can present the right deal to them and move the wrong deal away from them. What we tend to do then is by the time we get to the third meeting, it might be, oh, here's something that we might think is suitable for you, and you kind of pose a deal to them, and then on the fourth, you give that to them, leave it to them, and then the fourth meet, you kind of go in and ask for the deal and say, look, is this something you want to invest in? If you do, then we can talk about it. If not, no problem, okay? And that's kind of the 4 steps that I go through personally when I'm looking to raise money, and that's what's got us into partnership with a fund in Dubai, and also into a partnership with a fund here in Monaco. So guys, I know this has been a bit of a quick impromptu video, and there's probably a lot of background noise, but I wanted to give you this intro into how to raise through private equity. Now, I know there's probably a whole load of stuff that I've missed out on this, or you've probably got a whole load of questions. So post your questions below. Let me know what else you want to know. What I'll do is I'll create some more videos answering those specific questions, because I can give you a big blueprint, if you like, or a framework and a structure of how to do things, how you can get involved, and how you can start to go and raise those funds that you want for your deals, okay? I think, guys, just to sort of wrap this video up, what I wanted to do in the previous video, and if you haven't seen that, go watch it, is to dispel the myths around, only doing no money down deals and going out and doing, closing a deal on the first meeting with a business seller or a property seller. That doesn't always work. It's rushing things. Like I say, you wouldn't go and ask for marriage on the first day. I think we need to play a bit more of a sophisticated game. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm going to encourage you guys to do. So guys, there you have it. I hope you found this video was useful and inspiring, and it's got you thinking about doing things in a different way. To find out more, if you want to go and learn from us, come and join our Facebook group. There'll be a link below. If you want to get some kind of coaching and you want to kind of get into our community, we have a private members community, which is for men only. That's because we can help men to level up their mindset as well as their business skills. Go do that. If you want to learn or want to find out about some coaching, mentoring with me and the team, there's a link underneath, so you can book a call with our team. Go and have a chat with Ethan and the boys, and they'll be able to get you set up, okay? So guys, I'm going to sign off from Monaco. Been great to be on this video with you. I will see you on the next one. Take care and bye for now.